Hi, my name's Ruan and this is my channel, The Yorkshire Sew Girl. I'm coming to you today with my April makes. I know. I mean, it's nearly the end of May, but for me this is really good. I'm normally like months out, aren't I? I've got big bushy hair again today, going out seeing my friends tonight. We're going for something to eat and then a cinema. So I've decided to glam myself up for them. Although when I do curl my hair, there's always a bit, you know, that annoys me. Does anybody else get that? You see that there's like a bit there and a random bit here that I need to sort out. But yeah, I've used my Dyson Airwrap this morning, which is basically witchcraft. I don't understand how it works. It's absolutely incredible, but it gives me like a big blowy wave thing. I feel like I've been to the hairdressers. And I'm trying to, you know, make people look at this bit rather than this bit right now, because the grey is all over. But I'm holding on because it's not long to my holiday and I don't want to dye it until nearer that time. And then when I get on holiday, I'll stain all of the towels bright red. So I must remember to take my own hair wrap this time. Anyway, I'm digressing already, aren't I? I hope everybody's well. I thought I'd do I'm not even gonna say a quick vlog. I thought I'd do a long vlog. Here. Maybe I'll do a bit of reverse psychology with myself and it might not be that long, but we'll wait and see. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed recently. My subscribers has gone up quite a bit, and yeah, I think I mentioned it in my last vlog, I'd hit 6,000, which was unbelievable. So thank you very much for everybody who's pressed the subscribe button and also the notification button so that you don't miss out on any of my content. Sounded like a proper YouTuber then, didn't I? I'm quite proud of myself for saying all that. Hit the like button as well, because apparently that makes people see it more often, people that don't know me. And also, I need to have a word with everybody. So in my last vlog, I was just thanking a few people for buying me a coffee on my Ko-fi account. And I did joke and say that actually anything that is given to me over on my Ko-fi page was not for coffee, but it was actually for cocktails on my holiday, having a bit of a laugh. Now, there's quite a few of you out there that obviously want to get me drunk. Oh yes, I've had some donations that are very generous, saying get a cocktail or two on me on your holiday. So thank you, people. Whilst I'm sipping my pina colada in the sunshine, I will be thinking of you. So thank you very much. Watch it rain the whole time I'm in Lanzarote now. That's not going to happen, is it? That's not going to happen. It is May. It's going to be the end of May when I go. So surely it can't rain, can it? We'll see. We'll see if I come back an actual lighter shade of colour than I am already now. I'll be like a pale shade of blue or something when I come back. But anyway, right, I'm already talking absolute rubbish and we're 3 minutes in. So let's get on with April makes. I'm already cheating on number one because it's actually a March make. But I made it on March the 31st, so does that count? Or was it on March the 30th? I can't remember. I'm sure it was the 30th actually, because it was the day before release date for So Frugal 22. I made it up. Yes, it was the 30th, because I was on the Beyond the Pink Door social Zoom call at the time. And I whipped up the top I'm wearing today. But I just haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So this is it. This is it. And it is the Florence boxy tee by Size Me Sewing. I'll show you a picture. Ta-da! So this is the pattern that the lovely Donna from Size Me Sewing gave to everybody in the month of March, so that everybody had something to make for So Frugal if they wanted to, which was incredibly generous of her, I think. So obviously I had to download it immediately, and I wanted to take pictures of it and put it on the 31st, but COVID got me on the 31st, so I didn't get round to doing it. So I have put pictures up on my grid so far. I'll put a few pictures in now, but I absolutely love this. I really, really like it. It was such a quick and simple make. Like I say, I sewed it up whilst I was on the call for the social, and it's literally just tuck it under and sew it type of thing. Oh yeah, baby. So all it is, so it's 3 pieces, the front, the back and the sleeve piece, and that's it. I mean, and it really is a boxy tee. It says, look at me. hello. When you put your arms out like this, you can see that it is just a straight tee. I love it though. And I made it in this fabric, this gorgeous fabric I'd had in my stash for donkeys. I'm going to have to look up that saying, because someone did point out the other day on one of my videos that I must say this a lot. I haven't done it for donkeys or something like that. And they were like, I really don't understand that expression. And I'm like, neither do I. I need to actually look it up, because I say it all the time, obviously. So if anybody does know it without me having to be Googling, let me know. Yeah, but I've had this for a long time now, and it's just been sat in my stash waiting for the right thing. And you only need 1 metre of fabric, I think, for this. Is it 1 metre? I think it's about 1 metre. Yeah, 1 metre for my size on this. So it was absolutely perfect. I had to be a bit careful that I didn't put these on the old boobies, as you can imagine. But I think I managed to escape that. There's half one on a boobie, isn't there? But nothing major. But yeah, oh, I wear this t-shirt probably more than any other make that I've made so far, because I love the shape, I love how quick it was to make, and I love the fabric. So I'll definitely be making more of these. Now, sizing wise, it goes from a bust of 32 to 50, a waist of 24 to 42, and a hips of 35 to 53, but it is quite oversized, so the finished garment measurements are quite a bit bigger than that. But yeah, how good's that? So I'm really pleased with that. Now, Donna doesn't do sizes, traditional sizes of, you know, size 6 to whatever, 30. She does it in symbols. I'll show you on the back, you know, to see. So these are all symbols. So we're not defined by a number, ladies and gentlemen. We're defined by symbols. I quite like that. It's a bit like Prince, isn't it? The symbol. Don't look me in the eyes. So I think I went for my actual size, which was a square for my busters, and then the 2 squiggly lines for my waist and hips. And I actually really like the size. It fits me nicely around the arms. It's not too tight. It's lovely here under the arms. Yeah, I mean, Donna, you've cracked it with this pattern for me. I mean, 1 metre of fabric, sews up in less than an hour, fits really nicely. What more can you want? So yeah, that was my sneaky little March make that's snuck into these plans. I'm just chucking that down there. I'll be regretting this in a minute when I have to tidy everything up. Oh, right, okay, so let's get the next make. Let me wheel over to my door. So this was my first make of April. Now, this was supposed to be for the Dahlia Society Sew April blouse, and I was so lazy I didn't get photos taken of it until after April, which was very annoying, Ruan. But I made this up really early in April, and then I decided to add some bits to it. So it took me a bit longer, and then I just didn't get a chance to take photographs, annoyingly. So this is the beautiful Anna Allen Anthea blouse. I'd obviously heard about this from so many people, and I'd seen it all over Instagram, and I've loved every version that I've seen. So I kind of thought, what are you playing about with, Ruan? Get on with it, get on with this. And I was very kindly gifted some fabric from Fabric Zone, and they contacted me and said, would you like to purchase some fabrics for an honest review of what you receive, which I've already done in a vlog. But I ordered this plain white, I know, viscose linen. Was it viscose? Yeah, stretchy viscose linen. And in plain white. And I love it because of the texture. Let's see if you can see that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, isn't it? So I made it up in this fabric. Now, let me go through the sizing. Let me have a look. So this is the Anna Allen blouse, if you haven't seen. I will start to put some photographs up in a moment as well while I'm talking. So you can do it in either a dress version or the blouse version, and I obviously wanted to do the blouse version. So it goes from a size 00 to 22, which is a bust of 31 to 48, a waist of 24 to 41, and a hip of 31 to 51. Now this is very loose fitting. There is a lot of ease in this blouse. For example, the bust actually goes up to a 55 in the finished garment measurements and a waist of 58. So, and I think the hips are around 63. So there is a lot of ease in it. So even if you didn't quite fit into those categories, which is quite inclusive to be fair, I think you'd be all right, because I actually did size down. So I should have been, let me have a look, a 14 on the bust, an 18 on the waist, and a 14/16 on the hips. But I actually made a size 12. I know. I was a bit brave, really, wasn't I? That could have really, you know, backfired on me. But that was because of the amount of ease that was in the pattern. And I have plenty of room. I am so glad that I went with a size 12. It fits me perfectly. It's not too poofy around the waist and hips. I don't like things that are too loose. I mean, I like kind of a boxy tee, a boxy shirt type of thing, but I didn't for a blouse. I like it to be quite flowy, but not too big. And obviously with the anthea blouse, the sleeves are huge. So I didn't want everything else to be huge as well. So I am so pleased with how this turned out. The fabric was an absolute dream to work with. Oh, don't you just love a fabric that does as it's told? Bish, bash, bosh. Yeah, I mean, I literally could not complain. And then I finished it off with the most beautiful buttons. I've had these for a while. Let me see if I can get you up close. Look at those. They've got little flecks. Let's see if that'll, yeah, there we go. A little bit better, isn't it? Little flecks of yellow, pink. We can't really see a lot of pink. You can on some of the other ones. I'll show you them down here. And orange. And because I had a white shirt, you know me, I obviously can't just go plain, can I? I thought that would be a nice touch. And then I had to think to myself about what I want to do with the sleeves. Now, as if the sleeves aren't poofy enough and in your face enough, I just had this, I have this thing about daisies anyway. I love daisies, I love hearts, I love daisies, that sort of thing. Anything pretty. And I really wanted to do daisies. I was actually originally thinking of doing it all over. And I was going to embroider them myself. However, I've never done embroidery before. I cross stitch all the time, but I've never embroidered before, and I was a bit scared that I was going to muck it up. So I had a quick look on eBay, and I managed to find these little embroidered daisies. So there's loads, if you can see, there's different styles. So they are like, they go between a bright yellow, there's a bright yellow on there, and like almost an orange colour. And then they have different coloured middles, some of them. So some of them have got the orange bit and some of them have got the yellow, and they're all slightly different. So over the course of 3 nights, that's how long it took me, I hand stitched those onto the sleeves. So it goes all the way around the back. And I was regretting my decision when I'd only done one sleeve, but I absolutely love it now. So I am so pleased that I did it. I popped a little tag in as well, which I think was the Kylie and the Machines one from my advent calendar. And yeah, I mean, what's not to love? It's just beautiful. I love the construction of it. It actually sewed up really quickly, and I'm going to be making a lot more of those. I do think that I extended the length of it as well by 2 inches. I'm sure I did. I think I extended it by 2 inches, which was just about right, actually. Probably could have got away with maybe just 1 inch, but I'm more than happy with it. So I can't wait to get that worn, because it's just been hung up here waiting basically for me to tell you guys about it. And then I'm going to pop it in my wardrobe, and I'm probably going to wear it to work and feel all fancy. So that was my first make of, I'm looking down here because I've got my pad, first make of April. Then I went on to make the Rhea dress by Tammy Handmade. Are you noticing here that I've been making everything that I said in my plans video so far? I mean, I know I've only talked about one from my plans video, but so far we're doing all right, aren't we? This is the Rhea dress from Tammy Handmade. Now, I bought this quite a while ago now from the Makerist sale. So the Makerist, for anybody who doesn't know, is an online company that sells all sorts of different things, basically. And patterns, massive amount of patterns. And every now and again, they have a $2 sale. And when I went on, they had this. So I was like, I can't not have it. It would be rude to not purchase that because it came out at £1.80 or something ridiculous. So I've had this for ages. I've been, obviously, bought it at the wrong time of year because it's a summer make. And then I thought, for my holidays, this will be perfect. So originally, I was going to make this in, let me grab it because I've got it here, this fabric, if you remember from my makes video, my plans video. And this is a fabric I got from Rainbow Fabrics. But when I ironed my fabric, I noticed there was a flaw in it. And some of you might know that Rainbow Fabrics, they had a drop where they had a lot of faulty fabric. They had a complete nightmare, bless them. And yeah, this has got a flaw in it. So I contacted them. They were absolutely brilliant with me, to be fair to them. I just wanted them to know this was actually gifted to me anyway, so it was no loss to me as such, but I wanted them to know that there was a flaw in it. I must say that I've had an order from them that I paid for since then, and not a thing was wrong with it. So I think they they had a bit of an issue with that. So because it had a flaw in it, I couldn't make it out of this. So I decided to dig some fabric out from my stash, and I forgot that I'd got this beautiful viscose from my So Hayley Jane box. Now, I had originally, I think there was a mint coloured version of this, and I originally had that version, but Anna from You Got Me in Stitches contacted me and said, I don't suppose you fancy a swap because pink's not really me. And I was like, well, pink's a bit of me. I loved the mint as well. I'd have been happy with keeping the mint, but because she said she was really after the mint, I was more than happy to swap. So we did a bit of a swap. So I've made it out of this and I love it. So it's a nice loose fitted dress. And when I say loose fitted, it is very loose fitted. So this is a warning to anybody who might be making it. It's got a lined bodice. I think it's got 2 strap versions. I did the version where you could tie it. I always struggle with getting the strap lengths correct on dresses. So if there's ever an option for being able to use a tie version, or sometimes I'll make my own version if there isn't one, or for example, the Saltwater slip, which I'll talk about in a minute, has got adjustable straps, I'm there for that because I don't want to have to unpick and resew and unpick and resew. I hate trying on my makes while I'm making them. I know. I do it all the time and I know I should, but I dislike doing it. I hate getting my kit off and having to put a dress on every few minutes when you're trying to fit it. So this is a great idea. So yes, so it's got 2 lovely tiers. So it's got a tier at the bottom as well. And this fabric's got such a beautiful drape to it. It's got almost a little bit of weight to it. It's not see-through at all. And I was so happy with it. I have got a label in here. It is a Kylie in the Machine label. I'm not going to show you it because it's a little bit rude. I mean, it's asterisked out, but it's a little bit rude. But because it had pink and a little heart on it, it kind of went well with my dress. So I went with it. I'm not going to show you it though because it's naughty. It's naughty. So let me go through the sizing with you and I'll put some photos in while I'm doing it. It goes from a size 6 to 24, which is a bust of 31 to 49, a waist of 24 to 42, and it doesn't talk about the hips because obviously it's a really loose fitting dress. But the finished garments go up to a 51 bust and a 54 waist. Now, when I looked at the sizing, I should have been a 16 on the bust and an 18-20 on the hips. But I just made a straight size 16 throughout because I knew on the waist there was so much movement. In hindsight, I probably should have made a 14 looking at the finished garment measurements, but I was a bit worried about it being too tight because what I had to do in the end was take it in. But it's a lined bodice and I'd already put everything together, and there's a lot of gathering stitches in that dress to put the tiers in and I just couldn't be bothered. So I just whipped up the sides on the overlocker. So it's not as beautiful inside as it could be. But I will definitely make this dress again. But I do think it comes up very big. And I think that is because it's supposed to be an oversized type of loose fitting dress. But it's a bit too loose fitting for myself. And I think Rachel from Stitched Up's made this as well and found exactly the same thing. And I was a bit similar with Tammy Handmade's Etty camisole dress as well. So in my opinion, I would size down in both of those patterns to get a better fit for me. When I look at Tammy's on the pictures, she just looks, she can She knocks it out of the park, doesn't she? The loose fitted size of it, but I would like it a little bit closer. So I would definitely size down between 1 and 2 sizes really to make that fit a bit better for me. But I absolutely love it. And I love swishing around in it. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I made that with my So Hailey Jane fabric, which is great because I am trying to use up more of those fabrics because I've just been popping them in my stash and only making the odd 1 or 2. So I am trying to make better use of my So Hailey Jane subscription box and get through them. All this beautiful viscose for my holidays. Okay, so then I made my favourite pattern. So this is the first one. I'm just in the process of making a second one already because I love it so much. But this is the Saltwater slip dress by Friday Pattern Company. Excuse me, itchy nose. I'm not picking it. I've just got an itchy nose. And okay, I sound like Tamlin from Sewn on the Tyne because she is a massive lover of this pattern, and it's because of her that I decided to make this. But I'm literally in love with this dress. I'm in love with it. And I don't know if it's, you know, when you find the perfect pattern and fabric combination, well, this is it for me. I think you could literally make anything in this fabric and it would be incredible. But for me, I knew I wanted a dress in this fabric because I wanted to show it off to the best of its ability. And this is a beautiful viscose that I got from the first Beyond the Pink Door subscription box. Which I have recently signed up to, so I'll be getting that once a month as well. I really enjoyed making this pattern. There is a lot of binding, people. There is a lot of binding. I'm just going to put that out there now because I know it does freak people out. It freaks people out. But I quite enjoyed making it. Is there something wrong with me? I'm not sure. You have to do bias binding for the side ties if you choose to use those because you don't have to. And you have to do a bit here for the front, and then you do a piece of binding that goes all the way around and under the arms. It's quite clever really. And yeah, it is a lot of binding, but I really enjoyed doing it. The only thing that I found tricky was obviously when you're folding it over the edges, you have to catch the back side of it in as well. And that was quite tricky. And there was a couple of areas that I missed. So I've had to just hand stitch them together with an invisible stitch. But that's all right for me. So let's talk sizes because I don't have the actual pattern printed out. It's all on my iPad. So it goes from an XS to a 7X. Which is great. Friday Pattern Company is pretty good for that. A bust of 32 to 60, a waist of 24 to 53, and a hips of 34 to 63. So it's really size inclusive. Now I made an L on the bust and an XL on the hips, which was round about my sizing, to be fair. And I think it fits me exactly how I want it to fit me. And what's lovely about it is because if you decide to put the side ties, you can either tie it at the front or tie it at the back. And I really like the look of it tied up, to be honest. It has the most beautiful slit down the side of each leg, which is really nice. Now, I didn't lengthen this dress. Bearing in mind I'm 5'9", I didn't lengthen the dress, and it's exactly where I would want it to be. So it's like a mid-axi, maybe midi, probably more a midi size. And yeah, it's really clever how you construct the side split. So for example, let me have a look. This is the side split here. It doesn't come that high up, but it comes high up enough to make it easy to walk and just show a little bit of leg. It's very nice. So you sew in this, you sew the dress together, and when you get to a point here, you extend your stitch length and you sew the rest of it in and extend it to stitch length. Then you fold the edges in, you sew up and across and down, and then you use your seam ripper and unstitch the long stitch length that you've done. And I mean, it's genius. It's a genius way of doing it, and it creates such a nice, neat, tidy finish. I'm just in love. And then the other thing that it's got, which you can see at the back, is here. So you've got your little extenders on. Let me show you over this side. Sorry, it's all the one way around. So that's it on the back, and then you've got your little extender clip here so that you can pull it up and down, which I love. Absolutely love it. I'm not so sure there's much more to say about it other than it's possibly my favouriteest dress ever. I love it, and I think it's going to be perfect for the summer. So another success with Friday Pattern Company, and like I say, I've just finished it last night. I just had the hem to do, and I actually managed to finish it last night, so it's actually done. So another one to take on my holiday. Whoop, whoop. So I was super happy with that. Right, my next, so that was another thing on my plans. So what have I done so far? Let me work this out. I've done the Anna Allen anthea blouse, the Rhea dress, and the Saltwater slip, which I'd all said I was going to do in my plans. And the next one I said I was going to do in my plans was the Made by Me Patterns hoodie top for my friend's daughter Rose. I'll pop some pictures in here of the beautiful Rose because I didn't take any photos of it before I gifted it to her. And I made this out of the fabric bundle that I won as a prize from First for Fabrics. So I've been trying to use up a lot of that. There was bigger cuts of fabric in there, and then there was quite a few smaller cuts. So I very luckily had the printed fabric and then the pink plain fabric that matched. So I was kind of thinking it would be perfect to make a hoodie, and my friend's daughter Rose is completely into pink at the moment, so it was perfect. Like I said in my plans video, she's also the same age pretty much as my youngest son, so I did the same size as his because I know his is quite long and she's quite tall, so I thought it would be pretty good. Not much to say about this hoodie pattern. It's brilliant. I've traced it out. It goes from, this is it by the way. So I did this one. You can do it with just the neck piece like this, or you can do it with the hood. And it's a raglan hoodie. So it goes from 1 to 3 months all the way up to 9 to 10 years. So you're getting a really good amount of pattern usage with this, and it's really quite a cheap pattern as well. I don't think it's more than £4 to buy this. So I just have it printed out, and then I trace out the pattern as I go because I've made other ones for my boys in this as well. So yeah, the fabric sewed up beautifully. I did majority of it on my overlocker, other than basting in here and there, because I do baste quite a lot because I've learnt my lesson with that. And the only thing was, and don't worry, my friend knows all about this, I had a couple of glasses of wine one night and decided I was going to try and finish off the hoodie, and I put a hole in it with my overlocker. I'm not saying it's to do with the glasses of wine, but it probably was. So I nicked a hole in the back of it, and I didn't have enough fabric left to recut that piece. So I used my sewing machine with the same colour thread, and I just sewed over it very tiny zigzag stitches. And I pointed it out to my friend, obviously, like us sewists tend to do, we have to point out all our faults. But she kind of said I wouldn't have even noticed it if you hadn't have told me. And it's in the back, so it's not too bad. But I don't think with a young child running about that anybody would even notice it. But I did that as part of the Selfless Sew April 22 challenge that was run by My Social Thread, Sew for Serenity, and Stitch Hem Sew. So, and just so that you know, I actually won something. I went into the random prize section at the end, and I won a £20 voucher from Lushcloth. Oosh. So I was well chuffed with that, considering that I'd just done all the Sew Frugal challenge and couldn't enter myself into it for any of the prizes. So I was really, really happy about that. So then I made a couple of other things that I hadn't talked about in my plans video. So yeah, I had quite a busy April. I was part of a pattern test group, which was for Andrea at Experimental Space Patterns, and we made the Hayley shirt. When I say we, there was obviously a testing team. This is it here. It's just a bit creased because I've had it in my wardrobes, just squeezed up against stuff. I've got that much in there. So yes, this is the Hayley shirt. I don't have it in front of me because, again, it's I've got it on my iPad. But I will put some details up for you to have a look at anyway. But I love this blouse. So this is a new pattern that's only just come out. What I love about this pattern is it's quite a loose fitted shirt. So it's not a tight collared shirt. It's quite loose up at the top. And you can have 4 different sleeves. So you can have sleeveless, which is what I did, where you apply binding. There's like a little cap sleeve. There's a flutter sleeve, and there's also a full sleeve, which is amazing. The other thing I love about this is you can have it as a loose fitted shirt, or you can have it semi-fitted. So there's also darts at the front and at the back if you so wish to put them in. I didn't, because I wanted mine loose fitted, and I've actually sized down a bit. I'll talk about sizing in a second. But yeah, it was a really lovely make. The construction was really good. Everything is French seamed, and then you do almost like a pretend flat felled seam. It's just really clever, and I love it. I love the fit of it. I love the drape of the fabric I chose. So if you were using medium weighted fabric, that would probably be better for certain sleeves. Some people had made it with the flutter sleeve, but it was a bit too sticky out when you're using a medium weight. But it's got this beautiful yoke at the back, across the back, and also at the front. And you can't see it as well in my fabric, but can you see here? It's got like a little flap. So yeah, again, I made this out of my First for Fabrics bundle that I won, because I only had 1.1 meters, I think it was, and it said that it took 1.2, but I managed to squeeze it out. What I like about this fabric is that it's just, I don't know, there's detail in it, but it's also not too in your face. Does that make sense? So this is beautiful for work for me, and obviously with the warmer weather coming up, it'll be perfect. But the other thing is, if you decided to make this, what would be really nice, and Andrew has actually done this, is to make this panel and this panel here, and potentially the back, out of a different coloured fabric. Now I have some of this fabric, but in a different colourway, and I was umming and ahhing whether to do it. I actually chickened out in the end, but I wish I had. So there's loads of options to do a bit of colour blocking with this. Here, you've got the underside of your collar, you've got the back yoke. There's loads of options. But I absolutely love it. And I also put these gorgeous mother of pearl flower buttons on. And I don't know if you remember, but I bought these from we've got a local store here in my village called the Recycle Yard. And they have lots of different stationery, crafts, fabrics, everything for such a cheap price. And I got a packet of these for 25p. I bought 2 packets actually. And I just thought they went perfectly. So I am super pleased with this make. Now, this is another one where we're not defined by a number. We're defined by ladies' names. So Andrea does everything by ladies' names. Now, this is a loose pattern, as I've said before. There's a lot of ease in it. I didn't want quite so much ease, so I played around with the sizes because I thought it would be quite good as a pattern tester as well for Andrea to be able to see what the limits were. I should have been a D/Eve on the bust, but I went for a D. So I went kind of half a size down. I should have been a Gia on the waist and hips, but I went for an Eve, which is actually 2 sizes down. And I love the fit of it. So the sizing goes from a bust 33.5 to 57.5, a waist of 24.5 to 48.5, and a hips of 31.5 to 55.5. But like I said, there's also a lot of ease in there as well, which is really nice. So yeah, I actually sized down quite a bit on mine, and I feel like it's a perfect fit everywhere. So yeah, more than happy. Andrew did the most awesome job as well of her testing team. She set up an app where everybody could communicate on there, and updates were done immediately. So as soon as anybody gave any type of feedback, Andrea was on it, already updating everything and then resending the instructions out with the correct ones, so that anybody who hadn't already pattern tested and was just about to had the correct instructions. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it, and I would 100% want to test for her again. So yeah, I will obviously put links to everything down below. And if you'd like to go and purchase that pattern, there's no affiliate link or anything like that. I just love it. I'll pop all the details for all the patterns and everything down below, and you can go and have a look. And then last but not least, I told everybody that I was going to a wedding which I did. I had a dress that was a ready-to-make dress already waiting for me just in case, but I decided I was going to try and make my own dress as well. So I decided to go and buy some fabric from Lucky Fashion in Dewsbury, which is local to me, just to do a wearable toile. And this is the fabric. I've shown this as well on my haul video, and it's just beautiful. It's a crepe fabric in this black with bright pink flowers, animal print on it. I mean, could you get any better than that? Oh, and I think this was £4 a metre. I mean, crazy. And it actually sewed up really, really well. So I decided I was going to make the sew over at Eve dress. I'll pop some pictures on in a minute, and then you can see it in a bit more detail than me just hanging it up. I'll just pop this over here. So this is the pattern here. Now, I think I'd been asking for recommendations, and you guys came out in force, which was awesome. And I had a good look through everything, and a lot of love for the Eve dress, a lot of love. And I'd forgotten that I'd bought this when it was 50% off some time ago now, and it was in my stash. So I was like, I'm not buying anything else. So that is brilliant. So I went and got this one printed by Fabuloso, and I also had the little booklet printed as well this time, which I haven't done before, and I love. Let me get it out and show you. So it's like a little booklet. So, and they can print that out for you as well. Now, I have been trying to reduce my paper and everything. I've been doing a lot of it on my iPad, but then it has to be charged, and then if I'm trying to watch a YouTube video at the same time. So these are cute. I think they're £2.50 to be printed out. So I went ahead and did that, and I think I might do that in future because I really enjoyed having that there. So I really enjoyed making the Eve dress. It was a really nice make, and although it looks like there's a lot there, she says I'm pointing to an empty door now. Yeah, it was a relatively quick sew. I made a very quick toile of the top using that fabric that was floored. So I just made the top, and it seemed to fit perfectly, so I just went ahead and cracked on. But then when I actually attached it to the dress, it was a little bit big round the bust. And I do know that there needs to be a lot of adjustments, I think, to the bust of this one to get it perfect for me. It's totally wearable, and I will put some pictures up for you to have a look at. But I think I'd like to do a bit more to it, if that makes sense. So the body measurements on this is a bust 31 to 45, waist of 24 to 38, and a hips of 34 to 48. Now, I should have come out, let's have a look, at where was it? I would have been a 16 on the bust, between an 18 and 20 on the waist, and a 16 on the hips. So I decided to just do a 16 on the top, which was almost identical to my sizing, and an 18 on the waist and the hips, because I wasn't going to grade back in for the hips. I kind of thought, well, there's no need. But I do think I could size down on this one when I look at it. I've got quite a bit of excess fabric here. Now, I'm quite thick set in the middle. I don't have a very defined waist, teeny waist. So I sometimes have to be a bit careful. I've never made a wrap dress before as well, and I'm quite small busted, so I was a bit worried about how it was going to kind of go across the front of me. So I didn't make any adjustments to it at all. But yeah, there's quite a bit of fabric here, which I'd like to take out if I was to make it again. And also, where it crosses over, it's almost like there's too much fabric. So one sits very nicely here, but the other one kind of cuts across my bust, whereas I'd prefer it to come down here. Which you can make it do, but then it all bags out. So there's a little bit of fitting for me to do on the Eve dress, but it's such a beautiful dress. I did the version where it dips at the back, and oh, the side picture, when I take a picture of it from the side, I love the fact that it goes down at the back. It's just gorgeous. So I think I am going to do some work on that. I did end up wearing my retail dress rather than this, because it wasn't exactly right, and the other one was a little bit more my style, really. But I do think I eventually will do some work on that Eve dress, because once I've got the bodice fitting correctly, I think that would be a really good go-to pattern. And I've just seen the most beautiful editions of it, and yeah, I think that's going to be something that I need to do going forward. So not only did I make the 4 makes from my plans, I actually did extras. Oh yeah, quite chuffed with my little self. So I have been making quite a lot of stuff recently. Next month, obviously, I'm on holiday and I'm also away for the weekend, so there's not going to be as much made next month. But obviously this month I've been trying to make for my holiday. So yeah, I think there'll be an element of me slowing down now a little bit. I want to spend a bit of time analysing my wardrobe and working out exactly what I need. I do know that I need to concentrate on my work wardrobe. So I think that's what I'm going to start focusing on when I get back from my holiday. We'll see. There'll be challenges and all sorts of stuff going on, won't there, that I want to be involved in. But yeah, I think the core of what I do going forward will probably be a few more maybe summer makes, and the rest I think I'm going to have a look at concentrating on maybe a bit of a core range for work. So yeah, look at me, I've done a makes video. I'm kind of on time. What is going on? So my next video will hopefully be then, I would think, my plans for June, which I haven't sorted out yet, so it might be a way off yet. But I do go on holiday in about a week and a half, so I've got a little bit of time to record that and then hopefully upload it. So yeah, if you've got any questions or if you want to let me know which item you like the most out of what I've made, do let me know below in the comments. I love reading them, as you probably know. I do try to get around to replying to every single person, sometimes a bit delayed, depending on what time I've got. But yeah, I do really like listening to reading all of the comments and listening to what you've got to say. So by all means, drop me a message below. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had loads of time for sewing. Take care, and I'll see you again in my next vlog. Bye.